which is, I mean, they still technically employ him. He tweeted just saying yesterday, I think it was, whenever I'm having a bad day, I just check the Everton score and smile, which has caused a bit of an uproar, as you can imagine, for a lot of Everton supporters, one of which joins us now, former champion boxer and huge Toffees fan, Tony Bellew. Tony, you weren't very happy with this from Neal Maupay, were you?
No, mate, especially when you're sitting in the game and you're on your way back home. So, no, it's not the nicest thing to be done by a player who's obviously on the payroll, but he's a muppet, isn't he? And that's what he is.
I mean, it's a bit bizarre as well, Tony, because we were saying, you know, Everton, all right, they've lost to Nottingham Forest, but Forest have moved up to second. Before that, you've drawn with City, you've drawn with Arsenal, you've drawn with Chelsea. So, look, I know it's only 3 wins so far this season, but don't you think that adds to just how strange this is from Neal Maupay?
Yeah, because as I say, when Everton are doing okay, you don't hear a murmur out the little squeak. Out the little weasel. But the minute Everton starts underperforming and losing games, you hear the weasel then turns up. But yeah, it's very, very sad, and it's attention seeking, and just worry about where you are actually and who you're playing for at the actual moment you're there. Because while you were at Everton, the last thing you did was actually play any football. It was absolutely useless.
Do you think that's what it is, Tony? Do you think it's just a cry for attention? Do you think that kind of people have forgotten what he's doing and ultimately he just wants to be discussed?
Well, let's be brutally honest, mate. Who cares about the French league? He is playing for someone in France, isn't he?
Yeah, he's at Marseille. I think he's scored 2 goals for them this season.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably more goals than he scored in his whole time at Everton, to be honest. But it doesn't really matter, mate. I mean, he made 28 appearances in one season. Tim Howard made 38. The goalkeeper and scored the same amount of goals as him. So it's everything you need to know there wrapped up in one. But I mean, I just don't understand why he's having a go at his paymasters.
That's the weirdest bit, isn't it, Tony? I know. So basically, he's on loan at the moment. It's an obligation to buy, so he will be leaving the club. But I know this sounds a bit. Is it kind of sackable? Is there anything Everton could do here to get their own back?
You have to remember, mate, we actually took him on when no one wanted him. He actually drove him. The chairman of Brighton actually drove him to Everton, mate, to get him out. He couldn't get rid of him quick enough. We just were very unfortunate. We obviously didn't know what we were taking. We've all found out what we're taking now, a little horrible wind-up merchant. So it is what he is, mate. I mean, I'm sure he's not got long left. And I can be pretty sure we won't see him in the blue shirt again, let me tell you.
Yeah, I'm sure you might want to jump in the ring with him as well, Tony. I'd fear for him, I've got to say.
No, mate, he's not that stupid. He's obviously...
I was about to say the same thing, Tony, yeah.
Stupid,
how are you feeling about the situation with Sean Dyche? Do you think they should stick or twist?
Anything's better than the situation we were in with Fahad Mashiri and his ownership at the time. We've just been just dreadfully taken care of, if I'm being totally honest, and it's been that way since the stuff happened with Ukraine and Russia, and then obviously the backers of the club were taken away from the club, and it's one thing after another, and then the Premier League trying to make an example of Everton Football Club by deducting us 10 points. That's another disgraceful thing that happens. It's just one thing after another. But listen, we're Scousers and we're super resilient, and we just fight till the end, mate. We keep going and going and going. Listen to the job Sean Dyche has done over the last few years. There's no one in football that can tell me that job's not absolutely fantastic what he's done.
That's interesting, Tony. That's what I was going to ask you, because there has been some murmurings that some Evertonians wanted a new manager. They like the idea of the Friedkin group potentially replacing him, going a little bit more glamorous. Where do you sit on that debate?
I understand and get it. I really do, but you've got to understand this man's dealt with one hand tied behind. This man's been working with one hand tied behind his back, and he's just, listen, the job he's done, every Evertonian should be forever grateful for, because some of the players he's had, some of the, you've got, I think it's about 6 different managers' squads. You've got 3 directors of football. You've got 2 chairmen. I mean, it's a squad it's a team and a squad made up of all them different people. And he's had to come in. He's had no real impetus that he can put on the squad. He's had no players of his own that he can really bring in. He's just had to play with the cards he's been dealt. And he's kept us in the league, mate. He really has. And from Frank Lampard keeping us in the league against Palace to him keeping us in the league against Bournemouth, and it's just been a roller coaster of emotions for all of Evertonians. I just feel so sorry for the fans, mate. And I'm one of them. I've got a season ticket. I'm there every week, and it's worrying, but he's kept us safe and he's kept us steady. He's done the job he was employed to do.
Yeah.
And I can't thank him enough for what he's done, mate. Him and his staff have done a great job. I'm not saying, I don't know what the future holds, and I'm sure this Dan Freakton, he knows what that is, and they'll have a plan, and they'll know what they're doing. You can see he suffers no fools with the job he's done at Roma.
Yeah,
he's not going to be messing around. He won't be messing around with any managers. Anything he doesn't like or like the look of, it's just, you're going to be out the door. If you can sack Jose Mourinho, mate, you can sack anyone.
Yeah, it's a really good point as well, Tony. By the way, before we let you go, sir, and thank you for your time, we've been having a chat with some of the callers here about the bins in Liverpool, the colour of the bins and what it means.
What colour's your bin,
What
Tony?
colour's your bin, Tony?
What colour's my bin? Well, I'm outside ours now. I'm outside Mars, and the bin's purple.
Oh,
right.
See, there you go. Definition of a Scouser is a purple bin. There you go.
And just quick, what is a wall as well, Tony? You've got to enlighten us here. We're having an education.
That is someone who comes from the dark side. So if you've obviously seen The Lion King when we so we look over the water, and I have got 4 Simbas. I am Mufasa of my family, and I look over the sea. I look over the Mersey, and I say to the kids, "Don't ever go there, kids." I'm not shaking it.
Thank you so much,
Tony. Thank you so
clever off
much.
the back of this.
Yeah, what an
Scouse
education.
culture on TalkSport. Thank you.
Fantastic New Year and up the toffees.
Yeah, happy New Year,
you
Tony.
too,
Thank
Tony.
you, mate.
Yeah, happy New Year.